Hello everyone, it's Mike Lazar here, and welcome back to the channel where we talk about singing technique, Byzantine music, and music in general. If you aren't subscribed already, please do so, I would really appreciate it. Now today, we're going to be talking about staff notation, which is treble clef, bass clef, alto clef, and etc. Today we're going to focus on treble clef and how to read it. So in Western music, we label notes from letters A to G, as opposed to Byzantine music, where we label them from Ni to Zo. So in this case, we have to consider what these letters mean. Well, the letters mean the frequency of the pitch. For example, A represents 440 hertz, meaning that the note A vibrates 440 times a second. Alright, so in the scale, we have A to G, and then we continue the cycle. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, right? So if this A is 440 hertz, then this A will become double that, 880 hertz. Now, how do we find the numbers of these? Simple ratios. For example, E and A make a perfect fifth, and the ratio between a perfect fifth is 3/2, meaning that 440 times 3/2 is 660. So I can tell that this is 660 hertz, doing this simple mathematics, and this makes a perfect fifth sound. So now that we know the basics on what the letters mean, let's look how to identify them on the treble clef staff. Now the vast majority of treble clef staffs look like this. You have the treble clef here, which the way you draw it, loop up, circle, like this. It looks difficult, but it's not that bad. So we have to know, why do we call it the treble clef? Well, some people actually call it the G clef. Why? Because the loop is centered around the note G. Let's look here. The end of the loop is here. G. Why? Well, it's called the G clef and is centered on this second line. This second line here is G. Now, if we go up one, so into the margin, this becomes one note higher than G, which is A. Why? Because the cycle repeats itself. Likewise, if we go down into the margin here, it becomes one note lower than G, which is F. And if we keep going down onto the line, this becomes E. So E, F, G, A. We can continue. B, C, D, E, F, and then you can continue G. And now this is where it gets kind of tricky. Once you get past these, you actually have to make your own ledger lines. For example, here is an A. Why? Let's count. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Why? Well, because we're continuing up. So if we want to continue up even more, same ledger line, just pull one up. A, B. And we can keep going. Becomes a nice C. So let's do some practice and find out what notes look like on the treble clef. Alright, so let's begin. What is this note? Well, let's take this step by step. We know that it's on the G clef, the treble clef. And you know the G is where the loop is centered. And the loop is centered on the second line. This takes place on the second line. So this note is G. Let's continue. Let's do something a little more advanced, not too hard. Let's say it's here. Now how can we find this note? First things first, let's see where it is in relation to the G. The G is here. Let's write the G just for our sakes. We have to go a little higher than that. Why? Because it's two notes on the scale. Higher. So, G, then this note would be A. Why? Because then we have to repeat the cycle. So this note is A. And then this note is one note higher than A. So this one would be B. Let's continue. Let's go 2 notes down. Let's count. We skip the white space. So this is G, down 1, F, down 1, E. We land on E. So we have E, G, B. Let's continue. 2 notes higher than B is D. Why? We have B, we skip the C, we go to D. Now, let's go even farther. 2 notes higher than D. Let's do the math. E, skip, this becomes F. So you have E, G, B, D, F. So some people like this acronym. Every good boy does fine. However, I think these acronyms aren't the most beneficial. I think, as a performer, you get much more benefit from memorizing the positions on the treble clef. And how do you do this? By practicing and sight reading. And if you're beginning and you're having trouble sight reading, write in the notes. And if you have a music teacher, have her help you write in the notes. So she should check, or he should check, what you're writing in. So let's learn the blank parts of the staff. Alright, so let's begin. Let's find G first. We know that G is on the center of the loop. That is G. Now let's go and find what this note is. Well, this note is on the white space, meaning that it's only 1 note higher than G. So let's do the math. If the cycle repeats itself and G is the end of the cycle, then this note is A. Next, let's go down 1 note. Let's think about this. G minus 1 goes to F. So this is F. Let's go down 1 more. So this is G, this is F. The line here is E, and we skip the line and go straight to the space. This right here is D. So we have D, F, and A. Let's do 1 more, up here. Let's do the math. We know this is G, so this is A. The line would be B. We skip the line and go to C. So D, F, A, C. Right? Now let's go up 1 more. This note. Now if you're doing mathematics and music, which music is basically just mathematics applied, you would think that, oh, this is 2 notes higher again. Why? Because they follow the pattern of +2. And you'd be right. This is an E. Why? C +2. D to E. Now, let's do the final one on top. E, we skip here, and we end at G. Now, these 2 notes are both G. They both sound the same. The only difference is that this one is higher pitched than this one. But they are technically the same pitch. So now that we know how to read the notes, let's learn how to practice sight reading them and getting better at memorizing the pitches. First things first, you want to find an easy piece of music. I highly recommend nursery rhymes. Why? Because they're not too difficult and we commonly know them. So let's look. This is the music for a very common nursery rhyme. Mary had a little lamb. So starts on this note. This note, well, let's do the math. This is the starting point, G. G, A, B. B. This note, 1 note higher, A, and this note is on the line itself, so it's G. B, A, G, and then A, Y, 1 note higher, and then 1 note higher than A, B. B, B, B. Now, this will take you a lot longer to get right if you're writing it down. However, time spent trying to get it perfect is essential. Why? Because when you're starting off, you always want to take your time and make zero mistakes so your brain doesn't make any incorrect statements or incorrect connections. Both of those will inhibit you from learning to read music well. I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, I would greatly appreciate if you left a like and subscribed. Other than that, I'll see you on the next one and have a great day.